This video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
Hey, Coach, just curious about what you see from Mississippi State when you look at them on the offensive line.
They're aggressive. I really like their center. Their two tackles are big, very, very, very physical. They've had some really good players at tackle in the past. These guys are going to be like those guys. I know they had a first rounder and things. But I see good aggressiveness. Trey, they're different than what they've been in the past because they're running, even though they had great running stats a year ago and the time before when Coach Leach was there and things, it's just a different schematics. They're running more tight end oriented offenses, more dotted the I or in the home position than what they have before. So to me, their offensive line is sort of a little bit like ours too, because of the non-fast pace. They're being tested a little bit more in a schematic mic point, not necessarily zone read type offense. And of course, unless the other quarterback's in there, but I see them learning. I think they're a lot like us as well in that category. Very aggressive at the tackles. I like their offensive line. They play very hard.
How much do practices change for you guys now? I guess, kind of at the midway point, a little past it, I guess. But how much does practices change in terms of what you dedicate your time to and maybe the length of practice and all that stuff?
Yeah, at least to this point, last week we started pads about an hour on Wednesday, and then maybe the last 45 minutes to 50 minutes we went into spiders on Wednesday. A lot of that had to do with where we were setting, Trey, as far as injury wise. We couldn't really, at some positions, we just couldn't hardly afford another injury, and so that was part of it. Part of it is there's, a lot of banging going on Tuesday, Wednesdays. But time-wise, we haven't really altered the time of practice. We've probably altered Wednesdays more than any of it. And it's gone to half padded, half spiders practices. It's very hard where we're at right now on the offensive side of the football, not to have at least 2 days of, physical, trying to get those fits right, trying to get the timing right, all that kind of stuff. So if we were a veteran offensive line up there, I may do a little bit less, but we certainly still need all that work. So that's where we're at right now. So it's changed a little bit on Wednesday right now, and it probably will change some of the time as we get going. Depends where we are, our win-loss record as well. Depends on where we are in the after the break as well.
What changes for you on a Friday night for a home game versus going on the road? Do you even remember how to do a Friday night for a home game?
No. No, I don't. But like I said, boy, our grass looks good in the home stadium, so the fans will be able to see a really nice, good-looking field. Home game versus road, not a whole lot. I think we are going to send a couple of coaches out to see some of our local guys, recruits play. We sent 3 or 4 out when we went to Alabama to watch some guys that were recruiting as well. I'm not really overly huge on that, except for the fact that, I don't want them missing Fridays. I'm kind of a little more old school, if they can handle that part of it. I have been known to go to some games, but I'm not comfortable with that until the bye week. So really nothing much changes at home on the road, especially with 11 o'clock kick it. We'll have our chapel in the evenings. And then one thing that changes when the coaches go out, you have to go over your Saturday morning meeting at some point during Friday. So we'll do that Friday before the team meeting, because I'm assuming that nothing will change injury wise before the game. So,
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, when you say on Monday, we've got to win this game, there, not every coach would say that. And I want to,
you're right. I say a lot of stuff that ain't very smart.
I'm not saying it's smart or not smart, but it seemed like in 21, you might have used that, like said that one
I
time.
did.
I think you won the game. I mean, what compels you to say, I'm going to go ahead and say this, we got to win this game?
Because I think we're a little bit better team when we're real, and the kids need to understand that. And like anything, I'm sure they watched my press conference and things of that nature, and a lot of times we say things to you that we want to get back to the kids without us saying it. And to be perfectly honest with you, and we use the media in some aspects at times, but our kids know what we need to get done, and I mean, let's make no mistake about it. We want to go to a bowl, and we need to win. And again, I don't want to get crucified because said here, well, all he wants to do is go to bowls. That's reality. It ain't what we wanted, but it's reality. And so we want to get to a bowl game. To do that, we've got to win Saturday, in my opinion.
So you recall in 21 that you did that. I'm trying to remember the game. Do you remember?
I can't remember what game it was, but if I was guessing, it probably was the Mississippi State game at home that year. If I'm guessing, it was. It would get us to our 6th win that year, and Mississippi State was, I think, 17th in the country that night, and I believe it might have been that game.
Yeah, that makes sense. And then, so you said earlier on the SEC call that you felt like the guys would be able to play loose, that doesn't put any extra burden on them,
I think that being truthful with people as much as you possibly can, I think you'll get a better result. I'm too damn old to beat around the bush a whole lot of times. Now, we do with y'all a little bit because some of it is we don't even know the right answer. I mean, we just but I think you get more out of people by just being blunt and straight, and this is what got to happen. I think our kids, some of that portrays a belief in the kids from the coach, that I can put that on them because that's what the expectation that we need. But I'm just saying out loud where other coaches might or might not.
Mason.
Yeah, Coach, I was wondering how the 4-game stretch away from home affected the way that you guys have been able to recruit, just because you guys weren't able to really host recruits for games.
I've talked to the staff about how what kind of job they've done. I mean, it's not only that, albeit we've played some really good football teams as well, but we haven't won. And usually with that, if you don't have a keen relationship, a great relationship with the kids and the family, a lot of times you'll lose a guy or two and things of that nature. We have not. And I think that says something about the relationship building type guys and the belief in the coaches that we've been able to keep these guys. Because let's face the facts, in order to keep your girlfriend and you don't see her for 5 weeks and she's had a chance to see this guy, she gonna leave you. I mean, unless you're, whoever, Elvis Presley or whoever. And so we've got to get them here. We're trying to get them here, but we got to get back with them and get around them. But I commend our coaching staff and the kids that are staying with us because they're loyal and the belief that they have in the football program. But it is hard. It's really hard. And So I'm glad that they've stayed with us, and we can't wait to see them on Saturday.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, was just this Saturday, and how important would it be for the environment, the crowd, to just be really good for the guys that you're going to host for the first time in so long.
Well, I think it'll be huge for the recruits. I think it's going to help our football team. Why are people concerned about going on the road? I don't know. Now, continually it becomes travel and time and on planes and all that kind of stuff. I don't know if it has anything to do much more than, are they going to have a crowd that's going to affect the game? And most of the time in the SEC, probably 90+% of the time, the answer is yes, including at the University of Arkansas. So we need that crowd to help us win, which I believe 100% that they will and they can. And then the other one is, obviously, it's going to be a big deal of how our fans receive our kids. Our recruits are going to be looking at that as well. So I anticipate a lot of great things happening on Saturday.
Jackson.
Yeah, Sam, we've talked a lot about kind of the defensive players themselves and how the defense has gotten better this year, but I'm just curious, what have you seen from Coach Williams? How has he kind of adapted from week one and, made the defense a successful unit so far?
Well, I think they're all learning, a little bit together. That's why, your nightmare is losing coordinators, and not because you can't replace them. It's because, they're different people. So the way that they communicate with the kids, obviously verbiage is different, all these type things. But if you have a good man and one that is very concerned about having success and very concerned about the kids, these guys have just continued to work hard. And what's I'm seeing is kids not making as many mistakes. I'm seeing them play extremely hard, which means they like the coaches. They believe in the coaches. And then I'm seeing our physicality grow as each week comes, which also brings confidence. So that's all a lot about T. Will, his staff. That's part of the staff, that defensive side of the staff. And they are high energy. And the thing I like about them is they'll call a player in, they're just going to put it blunt. This is the truth. And I think our kids respect that as well.
Yesterday when we spoke with Max Fletcher, he said some, ringing endorsements about you and Coach Fountain. And I know, it's been a tough run here, but the players on social media have also kind of publicly showed their support for you guys. Does that mean a lot when it goes public? I'm sure there's stuff inside the locker room of that support, but what does that mean to you when the players kind of go public with that support and stuff?
Well, we love our players. They've been, when we win, they're respectful and excited, and when we lose, they we haven't lost our team by any stretch of the imagination. I know somebody keeps saying that, and then they feel like they have. I don't, but I love this team. I think we do it the right way. There's high expectations of going to class, and I told our staff, I said, we've lost a few games here. Let's do not compromise in any way the education, the expectations, the getting to everything on time. And no matter who they are, if they're not, whatever the situation be, we got to handle it. I think the kids appreciate that. I learned a long time ago that you lose your team when you lose your focus of your team expectations. And we haven't done that. And but I will say this, we've got great kids. We have great kids, and they're so much fun to be around. The key is they believe that we can win. And as long as they believe that way, they'll believe in us. We just got to get some results on the field.
Thanks, Sam.
Thank you. Thank you for telling me that about Max. That's nice.
Coach, a couple of weeks ago, KJ perhaps getting sacked all the time was getting to him a little bit. Do you think, like the second half against Alabama and this week in practice, that you're seeing some of the confidence come back?
But I'm so sorry. I didn't hear the first part of the question.
You said a couple of weeks ago that KJ perhaps getting sacked, and he had a lot going on his plate just the past two quarters against Alabama and this week in practice. Have you seen it come back a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I think KJ's always had a confidence. I think he's in the same boat too. You know, the new offense is for him and as well. And I think he's getting more comfortable in the offense, getting more comfortable with where his receivers are going to be, getting more comfortable with running the football. I thought he ran the ball exceptionally well last Saturday in called runs and making things happen when it weren't there. But I think he's having fun. I think he was maybe a little tight, maybe expecting to run the team, and he's got to play 100% for us to win. I think he's figured out he just needs to go be himself, and we'll have a great opportunity to win. So, yeah, I think that some of that pressure in his head, I think he's trying to have some fun now. He knows he's a good player. I think he's trying to have a little bit more fun.
And then, given where y'all are at 2-5, and y'all are still expecting a pretty, good crowd for this Saturday, what does that say about the state and kind of the belief from the people about the program and what you're doing?
Well, when I took the job, I think we had about 25 or 30,000 people in the stands, and I think we're maybe a couple thousand, maybe 1,500 away from being full capacity. So at some point, you've got to give back. I mean, we've got to win. And what it says is that they still believe in the kids, and we're exciting to watch and things of that nature. And they're loyal to the University of Arkansas and the state. So it says a lot about our fan base. We're very appreciative of them, and we need to give them back. We need to give them a win to show how much we appreciate them.
BetOnline is your #1 source for all your betting needs. Get the latest odds, lines, and matchup reports for baseball, boxing, golf, and more. BetOnline continues to be the fastest and easiest way to place your wagers, including live betting and your favorite casino and card games available to play right from your phone. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and get in on the action. Remember to use our promo code BELIEVE, that's BLEAV, for your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Bet online, where the game starts.